The present administration in Ondo State is committed to modernizing the agriculture value chain for greater productivity and economic diversification. Hence, has classified 100,000 hectares of land for the cultivation of oil palm, cashew, and cocoa. Speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony of Narrator Farm Limited, Ayeda Tuwa hailed the high-tech industrial scale closed environment project as a breakthrough in re-engineering the state's economy. He emphasized its role in fostering a green and sustainable future, creating jobs, spurring industrial growth, and boosting internal revenue to enhance food. Government House correspondent Wahab Mankoli reports.
The high-tech industrial scale and closed environment agricultural project owned by Narrator Farm Limited is located in Owen, Ondo State, driven by its commitment to food security and job creation through technology-driven agriculture. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa performed the ceremony alongside members of the State Executive Council. In his remarks, a member of the company's board of directors, Pelumi Olajengbesi, explained that Ondo State was selected after a thorough assessment of government support, security, and business-friendly environment for private sector investment across the Southwest.
Why we are here in Ondo State to set up this big project is because we believe that we have an environment where businesses like this can thrive. What we are starting with right now is precision green farming, what the Englishman called the closed environment farming. We are doing about 15,000 hectares for a start. But however, it is our vision that Narrator Farms will be able to establish a big market farmer in Ondo State that will be the largest in West Africa. And this is possible with the vision driven and governor of Ondo State.
A consultant for the project, Samuel Bagno, expressed gratitude to Governor Ayedatiwa for entrusting Narrator Farm Limited as the technological partner.
It will be also an economical impact. I'm completely sure that this project will be a success, and you can count on us to support you.
Governor Ayedatiwa described agriculture as Ondo State's key comparative advantage, stressing that administration's vision transcends traditional farming. He highlighted successes from the Climate Smart Agriculture Program and commended Narrator Farm Limited for selecting Ondo State as the project location.
From the very beginning of our administration, we made a clear and deliberate choice to place the private sector at the heart of our development agenda, knowing full well that government alone cannot drive sustainable growth and industrialization. Our role includes creating an enabling environment, one defined by clarity of policy, ease of doing business, infrastructure support, and above all, security of lives and property. There is no gainsaying that the fact that these projects align seamlessly with our administration's commitment to economic diversification, food security, job creation, youth empowerment, and export-oriented agriculture.
In a drive to boost Ondo State's economy through agriculture, Governor Ayedatiwa announced the declassification of 100,000 hectares for oil palm, cashew, and cocoa cultivation. He applauded Narrator Farms' commercial-scale smart precision greenhouse as a model for transforming agriculture.
We are championing agriculture as innovation, as industry, and as enterprise. Projects like these reaffirm our belief that when the government provides the right policy framework and investors bring capital, technology, and expertise, development becomes inevitable.
The governor declared Ondo State open for business and eager to partner with serious investors, both local and international, to build a diversified, industrialized economy hub for its people. In an interview, Chairman of Noreta Farms Board of Directors, retired Major General Bamidele Olawumi, thanked the governor for suiting the path to establish the project in the state, citing his passion for sustainable growth and development.
Our vision in coming to cite this very important project here is to support what the government is doing and to particularly support Mr. President. We are particularly choosing Ondo State because of the peaceful atmosphere we have here, and we are also seeing what the government of Ondo State is doing, providing the right environment for people to come and invest here. That has been our motivation.
Upon completion, the technology-driven agribusiness initiative by Noreta Farm Limited will boost Ondo State's economic prosperity while creating numerous job opportunities for the youth. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
And on the listed Golden Jubilee, attention is being drawn to the remarkable journey of the education sector since the creation of the state. Education stakeholders and residents who witnessed the early years recounted that teaching and learning was of commendable quality at the time, but access to education was limited for many citizens. To them, this generation is blessed with diverse opportunities to achieve their heart's desires. Omorionla Onguji tells us more.
Long before the creation of Ondo State, the education sector stood out as one of the key areas that witnessed steady growth and transformation. Residents who were privileged to witness the early years of the state recounted that education at the time was a commendable quality with committed teachers and disciplined learning environments. They, however, noted that many communities lacked adequate schools and educational opportunities.
When the state was created, there was hardly any higher institution, but by the special grace of God, we now have universities. Knowledge of nursing, so on and so forth. So by His grace, I think the state is actually moving forward. Education now is not as it used to be in those days. It is now led what you have now. It's an inclusive education. We are parents, we are guardians, we are wards, where everybody has a role to play as far as education is concerned.
They have what we call an all-inclusive education, not only academics alone, but when you talk of all-inclusive education, we talk of sports, we talk of skills. Skills acquisition when you are in school and all that. That's really impressive that you are having that. That has never been like that in the 60s and 70s and 80s. So it's really commendable that we are having such progress in the educational sector.
Since the creation of the state, successive administrations have pursued policies aimed at expanding access, improving infrastructure, and strengthening manpower development across all levels of education in the state. Chairman, Ondo State Universal Basic Education Board, Victor Olabinton, posited that the interventions have helped to strengthen the education system and encourage higher school enrollment, particularly at the basic education level.
On this schools, and we have over 1,800 primary schools. I'm not talking of private schools. I'm talking in terms of government now. When you add private, you know what that has done to the site of Ondo State. And we must commend the founding fathers of the state. Ondo State will rank as one of the best in Nigeria. And this is due to the quality of our leaders. And every successive leader has tried to keep this pace. And the current governor is not letting anything go. He's keeping it and making sure that things are done and done very well. Because if we educate our citizenry, then we are good for tomorrow.
the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Ibekele Ajibefo, explained that the unrelented efforts of this administration, employment of more qualified teachers, renovation of dilapidated school buildings, and improved monitoring are geared towards ensuring effective teaching and learning outcomes, skills, scholarships, bursary, and other financial support from Ondo State government is to ensure that more people have access to quality learning across the country.
There are a lot of schools that were established many years ago, 50 years ago. They have become old and dilapidated, but the government has made and is still making efforts to renovate these buildings, to modernize the facilities, to bring in digital facilities, to bring in computers into the computer laboratories, to bring in things that students need for science and technology. So it is making effort in that area. Many schools currently are enjoying modern facilities because government is bringing in modern equipment, modern laboratory equipment, modern digital facilities, including through these food shuttle services.
Citizens remain hopeful that continued commitment to education will further position Ondo State as a reference point for academic excellence in the years ahead. Omola Honji, Osrc News.
As climate change continues to alter weather patterns across Nigeria, including here in the state, health experts are increasingly concerned about the growing impact on public health, especially among children and older adults. In recent years, Ondo has experienced more unpredictable shifts in rainfall and temperature, contributing to changes in disease patterns and environmental stresses that put residents at a higher risk. Experts say the shift from predictable weather to more intense dry spells and sudden rains increases health risk and highlights the urgent need for preventive action, including proper hydration, good nutrition, and timely vaccinations. Adewumi Taiwo reports.
According to local climate data, Ondo experiences a tropical wet and dry climate, with annual temperatures averaging about 28 degrees Celsius and more variable rainfall patterns than in the past. But these shifting weather patterns are not just about discomfort. They are influencing health outcomes in real ways. One of the most pressing concerns is the increasing Lassa fever burden in Ondo State. So far in 2025, Ondo State has accounted for about 30% of nationally confirmed Lassa fever cases, making it one of the epicenters of the outbreak. With hundreds of cases reported across the country, Ondo's share reflects how weather and environmental conditions such as prolonged dry seasons that boost rodent populations can aggravate disease transmission locally. Changes in rainfall and humidity also influence vector-borne diseases like malaria. Research shows that increases in temperature and rainfall variation in the region are statistically linked to higher rates of malaria transmission, especially during peak rainy seasons. Exposure to air pollution from vehicle emissions and industry in cities like Akure also varies with season, with higher concentration of nitrogen dioxide recorded during the rainy season, a factor known to contribute to respiratory illnesses in both children and adults. Reacting to the evolving situation, medical practitioner Dr. Olu Aladeshuru described it as a potential public health emergency if preventive steps are ignored.
Weather has impact on human beings in what we call the extremes of life. Extremes of life, the young babies and then the very old people. The effect on the able-bodied adolescents, adults is minimal. For a child, a change in temperature can, not just temperature, the breeze and everything can cause havoc. The wind comes with dryness and then there could be when they inhale it, it will affect the chest and everything. And then the old people, their ability to withstand infection is reduced, and therefore this change in weather can affect that age group too. What we need is for mothers to carry their babies well kit with dresses, and then give them, if they are beyond those that are being breastfed, to give them warm food.
UNICEF health specialist on immunization, Dr. Sheikh Kabir, also maintained that vaccination remains a frontline defense against disease outbreaks that can be triggered by weather shifts. He pointed out that extreme heat, flooding, and unsafe water conditions create environments where infectious diseases, including cholera, typhoid, and others, can spread more easily. Dr. Kabir urged parents, caregivers, and community leaders to ensure that children receive all routine immunizations on schedule.
Climate change is affecting environment, food production, which ultimately increasing poverty, and also affecting the health sector in terms of evolving diseases, outbreaks. We can see more or frequent outbreaks of diseases, so we need to improve the surveillance so that we can identify the diseases upfront and can undertake preventive measures and outbreak response. In addition to that, we need to strengthen the immunization. So if we can improve the routine immunization, it will protect the children from all those vaccine preventable diseases. It will improve their immunity, so they will be less vulnerable to the climate change. They will be more resilient to the climate changes in terms of health impact.
As climate change continues to reshape weather patterns here in Ondo State and across the country, health experts agree that prevention through awareness, healthy living practices, and vaccination remains the strongest line of defense against emerging health threats.
Also, the unusual weather pattern this season is raising concerns amongst farmers and agricultural stakeholders across the country. Traditionally, the harmattan periods slow the growth and productivity of certain crops, fruits, and vegetables. But with the disappearance of harmattan in December and January fears amounting over possible poor yields, Joy Pius reports.
For decades, farmers have relied on the harmattan season as a critical period for cultivating crops such as vegetables, fruits, and grains that thrive under cool and dry conditions. But this farming season appears different as the expected harmattan failed to set in, leaving many farmers uncertain about the outcome of their harvest. Visits to some farms in Akure reveal growing anxiety amongst farmers who say the unusual weather has disrupted planting cycles and exposed crops to increased pest attacks and diseases.
The weather has changed. The ozone layer has been depleted, and we are now having abnormal climate, abnormal rainfall. So that is a challenge on its own for farmers. There are some diseases that affect some crops during this time, especially tomato, pepper, cucumber.
Agricultural experts noted that the prolonged warm conditions have negatively affected crops that depend on cooler temperatures for optimal growth, while also encouraging the spread of pests and plant diseases.
Crop like cashew, it requires harmattan for fruit setting. If you look at the environment now, we also have been seeing cashew all around, cashew fruit, people eating cashew, but if you find cashew now very scanty, just because the harmattan of December that's supposed to aid the fruit setting was not there, all the flowers produced were aborted, and that will lead to scarcity of cashew. Outside that, if you look at mango, mango requires harmattan for fruit set also. Now, there is no harmattan. We should be expecting a scarcity of mango this year also. Let me say, in this environment, because in the northern part, they had some reasonable level of harmattan. Okay, outside that, the oil palm requires harmattans for fruiting. If you look at our oil palms now, those that are supposed to be having up to about 10, 15, 20 bunches, maybe you are just finding 2, 3, or maximum of 5 bunches on there, because harmattan that's supposed to aid the fruit setting is not there.
Climatologists attribute the situation to changing climatic patterns, with advice to farmers not to panic, but to adjust their farming practices in line with current realities. Experts say while the changing weather poses challenges, proper planning, awareness and support for farmers will help cushion its impact on food production.
The rain we are seeing falling now is not yet good for agriculture. Whenever plants now just waste resources. The rain is not yet stable. We must have the knowledge about climate. And how do we do it? We start it from the schools, the geographical garden of those days, where people can measure temperature, they can measure these days. It's no longer there. It has to be brought back. Because what you don't know, you can't begin to force yourself to know it in the future. So those awareness must come back. For us to survive in agriculture, we must engage in irrigation. There is no way. Government must spend on it. They must allocate resources. They must invest in satellite technology. That must be a law. Is that okay? On the part of the government, particularly the Ondo State of Assembly. They must establish climate change agency in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment. In those boards, they will put in agriculture, they put in the Ministry of Works, they put all the necessary agencies that will work together so that we can have a blueprint climate change action plan.
With agriculture a major source of livelihood and food security, stakeholders are calling for increased sensitization and support to help farmers adapt to changing climate conditions. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Measles, rubella and malaria vaccine mass immunization campaign has been flagged off in Ondo State. Declaring the event open in Akure, wife of Ondo State Governor Oluwaseun Ayedatiwa and joined community leaders of various sectors as well as health workers to step up intensive mobilization activities for the campaign. Omoniola Ongbiji has details.
It's one of the leading causes of vaccine-preventable childhood illnesses in society. To address this, the federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, in collaboration with development partners like World Health Organization, UNICEF, and many more, put together this special campaign to secure the country.
I hereby flag off the measles, rubella, and malaria mass campaign in the Sunshine State.
Wife of Ondo State Governor Oluwaseun Ayedatiwa highlighted the importance of immunization, saying the routine exercise is safe and free. According to her, the integration MR and malaria campaign will be conducted for 10 days between 2nd and 11th of February 2026 across all the 18 local government areas and 203 wards in Ondo State, ensuring that no child is left behind.
As we celebrate how far we have come as a state, we must also make deliberate efforts to protect where we are going. And that future lies in the health and well-being of our children. This campaign represents a powerful statement that true development is not only about roads and buildings, but about ensuring healthy children who will carry Ondo State into the next 50 years.
She added that Ondo State government has continuously supported routine immunization and supplemental immunization exercises, making the state rank among the best performing states, not only in the southwestern zone, but in the nation as a whole.
I therefore appeal directly to all parents and caregivers across Ondo State to embrace the integrated MR and measles vaccination campaign and be ready to bring ourselves, children and ward to receive the appropriate vaccines they may be eligible for.
Commissioner for Health, represented by his permanent secretary, Dr. Ayodele Adiji, reinstated the commitment of Ondo State government in securing the future of the children.
The malaria vaccine is also available for us to start, and we know that by all grace, at the end of the year, all of us will be happy that our children are here to celebrate us in the 100 years of Ondo State.
Permanent Secretary, Primary Health Care, Ondo State, Francis Akombiemu, highlighted the importance of the vaccine, saying Ondo State government is making decisive actions in eradicating avoidable diseases in the state.
The dream of the governor to provide effective and efficient health delivery to the people of Ondo State is actualized. I thank them for their efforts, and I also want to appreciate all the health workers who have joined us in this journey.
Stakeholders, including representative of World Health Organization and UNICEF, confirmed that Ondo State is the third in the country to benefit from this gesture, calling for maximum cooperation toward achieving a desirable result.
Rubella is equally dangerous and killing our children, as well as this notorious disease which the girls are affected, our pregnant women are affected, and give birth congenitally defected children.
No fewer than 2.3 million children between the ages of 9 months and 14 years are being targeted for the measles rubella vaccine, while over 193 children aged 5 to 21 months will receive the malaria vaccine. Omoriola Ngbeji, Osrc News.
Founder of the Ogo Akure Mandate Group, Ayodeji Oluleye, had declared his intention to contest the Akure South and North Federal Constituency seat in the House of Representatives on the platform of the All Progressives Congress (APC). Oluleye made the declaration during a familiarization meeting with supporters, youth leaders, and coordinators of the mandate group drawn from the 22 wards across the 2 local government areas. Blessing Obi tells us more.
The familiarization meeting, organized by the Ogo Akure Mandate Group, brought together grassroots supporters to present Ayodeji Oluleye as an aspirant for the House of Representatives seat representing Akure South and North Federal Constituency. Ward coordinators, party leaders, and stakeholders engaged with the aspirant on his vision for effective representation. Ayodeji Oluleye said his decision to seek the office is driven by a desire to provide inclusive, people-centered representation at the National Assembly. He expressed confidence that with the support of the party structure and the people, his aspiration would be realized.
These are my people from Akure North, Akure South, and they are here to welcome me, to also, this is a family meeting. I have just declared my intention officially with them for the Federal House of Representatives position of Akure South and Akure North Federal Constituency in Ondo State. What we have come to tell them is to tell them the new vision that we want to bring into our kingdom, the Akure kingdom. And that is why we say Ogo Akure. We are bringing in bold leadership with the energy of the youth. We are bringing in fresh ideas into leadership.
Leaders and stakeholders from both local government areas commended this initiative, particularly its emphasis on youth empowerment, and pledged their support for his ambition.
He's a very young man and very vibrant, and we should know what he wants to do. He has planned, he has been doing various empowerment to the young generation for a long time. With that, we don't doubt his own capability. We know that he can give a very best and deliver in a very right sense.
We want to support him. We see him as a young, vibrant man, vibrant youth. It can represent us well.
As political activities gradually gather momentum ahead of the 2027 general elections, the declaration marks the beginning of consultations and grassroots mobilization within the Akure South and North Federal Constituency. Blessing Obe, Osrc News.
And that concludes Sunshine Report. Many thanks for watching. Good afternoon.